Hello all, welcome back to the tavern. It's Muji here, back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about E is for Extinction. And the reason I wanted to make this video is not because of just clout. I mean, it's there, but X-Men 97 adapted the storyline, and it's a very, very good storyline. And I wanted to talk about the storyline and why it's important and why it was important for X-Men to tackle this storyline. New X-Men was written by Grant Morrison and Chuck Austen. Both of these two are heavy hitters when it comes to X-Men as well as comic books. So this was a very, very good move by Joe Quesada to make these two write this comic. It is a soft reboot for the X-Men as a whole, and it sets the tone for the run, not only talking about the first story arc, but I'm talking about in general. For the next 10 years, this sets the tone for X-Men from 2003 down till today. Anyway, before I begin, I'd like you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I like the discourse. I like the last video. You guys dropped your points, and I appreciate that. So let's begin. Our story begins with a retelling of the extinction of the Neanderthals by the Homo sapiens, and this is being narrated by Cassandra Nova. She's the villain of Deadpool 3, and this storyline is her first appearance in comics. And she's telling this to Donald Trask, who is the nephew of Bolivar Trask. Bolivar Trask is the developer of the Sentinel program. He's the one that started Operation Zero Tolerance, and he genuinely hates mutants, or he hated mutants. And at this point in time in the story, he's dead. So she tells him that a superior species will always wipe out an inferior one, and this is just the inevitability of evolution. And with the boom of the mutant population, this is inevitable for humanity. But she also claims there's a way to humanely put down the human race, which is crazy, seeing as she likens mutants to germs and animals in this. Switching over to the Xavier Institute, Beast and Jean are catching up a bit as well as discussing Beast's upgrades to Cerebro, building a better and stronger one, which is Cerebra, which he likens to a big sister of Cerebro. Beast's appearance has been drastically altered from his 90s ape appearance to be more feline, looking more like a lion, and he has digit-grade legs. This look would go on to dictate Beast's appearance for the next 2 decades. Jean is also talking about her abilities being somewhat boosted as her telekinesis has gotten stronger. She moves over to check on Charles Xavier, who is using Cerebra, and he discovers there's been a population boon for mutants, with thousands of new mutants cropping up every day, which is also falling in line with what Cassandra Nova was telling Donald earlier. In the midst of browsing, he discovers a flare near Ecuador, and he contacts Logan and Scott, who are on the other side of the planet, at Australia to be specific, and they are rescuing a mutant named Ugly John from a rogue sentinel. And this was prior to Xavier's call. On their way back, we get a conversation between Scott and Logan, and we get a sort of recap of things that have been going on. Scott has been emotionally distant, and he and Jean are not that good. And this was due to his possession by Apocalypse in a previous storyline that Grant Morrison is taking from, called X-Men vs. Apocalypse, the 12. Logan is regenerating throughout this conversation, and it's very, very gnarly. He's even smoking. So the combination of smoke and burning flesh causes Ugly John to kind of pass out. Being put in a telepathic conference room, Charles shares a vision of the future and things that he has noticed, such as the increasing mutant population, as well as the conversation steering in the direction of why the X-Men have ditched their superhero look for a more paramilitary one, which what Morrison is essentially doing here is catching us up on a bit of the X-Men's purpose and mantra, as well as Xavier's dream and role moving forward. During this same call, he assigns Wolverine and Cyclops to stop by Ecuador to check by this anomaly before they return back to the mansion. I really liked this conversation. Back at Ecuador, Cassandra and Donald arrive where Donald believes in Cassandra's plan, though he's unsure of her sales pitch, as he is just a dentist and how can he contribute to humanity's survival. Xavier tries to scan through this location again when his mind gets invaded by Cassandra, as she tries to take over his body, and throughout all this agony, Charles Xavier pulls out a freaking Glock and he points it at his own head, and he threatens to shoot himself if she does not leave, pushing her out of his mind. She returns to Trask, who is unaware of this entire mental battle, and she proceeds to show him the tool of mutant annihilation, the remnant of a master mold that was not destroyed years ago. It had become a wild sentinel, and it had been building itself an army of wild machines that meld together with all of the surrounding areas. She then reveals one more crucial detail to him. She needs Trask's DNA to gain command of this sentinel, and with a final word, she says that his future lay in genocide. Damn, that is very, very over the top and deep. Anyway, this is just the first issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I will be doing more of stuff like this going forward, where I cover like storylines that I really like, as well as capturing their essence and stuff like that. And this is just the first issue. I'm going to cover issue 2 and issue 3 because this storyline is 3 issues long. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you.
Until we meet again!